Hey, what's up you guys? Guinea Piggies Designs here, and today I am bringing you episode 16 of my cage set series. But anyways, real quick, for those of you who are new, my name is Brittany. I basically just sew things for your small animals, and I do other random things here on my channel. But in today's video, I'm just adding to my series that I'm doing where I am sewing a couple of cage sets for my very own guinea pig cage, and I'm trying to take you guys step by step of how I would complete all these items. But here is what I worked on today. So here I sewed some more on the cuddle cups, the hooded houses. I worked on some cubes. I worked on the guinea pig home, the piggy lounge. I sewed the top hem part to the hay bags that I'm working on. I worked on a foam tunnel. I think that's about it. So that's what I worked on in today's video. And also I did decide what I'm going to start doing because one of my followers requested. Thank you, Donna. At the end of each video, I'm just going to do like an update, and I'm going to be showing you guys what I am working on for my Etsy shop. So if you guys do want to see what I'm working on or see what I'm going to be putting in my Etsy shop, make sure you stick to the end of the video. Everything that I do use in this video is going to be linked down below in the description. But anyways, yeah. If you guys do want to see how I sewed the things that I showed you earlier, go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so the first thing I am going to be working on is the cuddle cups. So for this part, all I'm doing is I'm sewing around the outside of the cuddle cup. The excess around the cuddle cup. I'm trying to get as close to the seam as I can, but I'm not cutting off the seam. This is going to be for the inside of the cuddle cup, so here I am just sewing all around it. Trimming off the excess just like I did with the outside piece, and then I'm going to turn this piece right side out, and then I'm going to put it into the outside piece, making sure the two good sides are touching each other. So when we clip this together, it's going to look like it's inside out basically. And then I'm going to clip the corners and then the two back seams together, and then clip the rest around it. And then after this, I'm going to start working on the two removable potty pads. And for these, I'm just going to turn them right side out. And then I am making 4 cuddle cups total. So I'm going to be repeating the same process 3 more times. Now I'm moving on to the couch. So for the couch, what I'm going to do first is turn the pillows right side out, and then I'm going to turn the 2 removable potty pads. I'm going to turn those right side out, and then I'm going to start working on the back piece. And for the back piece, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add 4 divots to it. So the first divot is going to be towards the top. The second one will be at the bottom, and then the other 2 are going to be on the sides. So it's going to form like a diamond shape. And for this part, you can use a zigzag stitch. I would go back and forth over it 3 times. You just kind of want to make a dot, so later when we stuff it, it's going to be more stabilized. Here I did use a circle stitch, which is a stitch that makes a circle. And I went over the same stitch 3 times on all 4 dots. The flannel cube. So for this part, all I'm really going to do is just add the ribbons to the top piece of the cube. So all I'm going to do is just fold the ribbon in half, and then I'm going to place it along one of the seams on this side. And you do want to make sure the ribbon is facing inwards. And I'm going to add 4 ribbons to the top of the cube. And again, I'm going to sew all 4 to each seam around the cube, lining it along with the seams. And then after that, I am going to turn the 2 removable potty pads right side out. So for this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the foam piece, which is going to be the outside piece. I'm going to fold it in half, making sure the 2 good sides are touching each other. And then I'm going to clip the top area, making sure that it's lining up to the other side. And I'm going to clip the bottom area, making sure those 2 corners are lining up. And then I'm going to sew a seam all around that. And for this part, you want to try to get as close to the foam as you can. And then after that, I am going to attach the outside bottom piece to it. And this is just like the cuddle cup. All I'm doing is I'm going to clip around the bottom, trying to line it up to the top piece all around. And then I'm going to sew a straight line all around it. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. So for the inside piece, for the inside of the hooded house, I am going to clip it to the bottom piece of the hooded house, just like I did with the outside. And then I'm going to sew all around this one and cut off the excess. I am going to turn the inside piece right side out, and I'm going to put it in the outside piece. And then I'm going to clip around the opening. First, I like to line up the two seams, the two top seams, clip that, and then I'm going to clip all around it. And then in my next episode, I'm going to sew around the opening part. And I am making another hooded house, so I am going to repeat this same process one more time. To the foam tunnel. So for this part, all I'm doing is putting my hand in the hole, and then I'm going to pull the foam through, and this is going to be the top piece. And then once I got my foam inside the casing, I am going to feel for the corners on the inside, and then I'm going to try to put the corners where they need to be. And then once I kind of got them in the area I want them, all I'm going to do is just shake it out to where it lines up evenly. And then for the sides, for the long sides of the foam tunnel, I want to make sure there's a gap on the side, on the long sides, so that way it's easy to sew through. And then I'm going to repeat this same process to the bottom piece, which is a skinnier piece. And then I'm going to turn the two removable potty pads right side out. working on the guinea pig home. So for this part, all I'm gonna do is attach the front piece to the top piece. So I just put the front piece, the opening piece, in the middle, and then I clip the top part of the opening piece to the bigger piece, and then I start clipping all the way around it so it lines up. And then I'm going to sew a line around it, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing again just so it's strong. And then I'm going to trim off the excess and then turn the 2 removable potty pads right side out. Now I am working on the piggy home. So for this, I'm going to start adding the seams. I do like to work on the back piece first, where I will do a wavy stitch. I'll do one straight through the middle going vertically, and then I'll do one going straight through the middle going horizontally, and then I do trim around the excess. And then I'm going to work on the bottom piece, where I'm going to be sewing 3 lines going horizontally on the short edge and 1 line going vertically on the long edge. And again, I'm going to be using the wavy stitch. And then for the top piece, which is the biggest piece, I'm going to be doing 3 lines going horizontally and then 5 lines going vertically. And then also for these lines, I do line them up 2 to 2.5 inches from the edge, and then I do try to make sure each seam that I do add is like the same distance. So each seam should measure at least 2 to 2.5 inches away from each other. After I sew the seams to the outer pieces of the piggy lounge, I'm going to turn the 2 removable potty pads right side out. Now I'm moving on to the snuggle tunnels. Now I am making 3 snuggle tunnels. So for this part, I'm going to turn the outside piece, I'm going to turn that wrong way,
out. And then I'm going to turn the inside piece. I want to make sure that is facing right side out. And then I'm going to put the outside piece into the inside piece, trying to line up the two seams. And then once I got it in, I am going to roll the seams at the edges around the tunnel and clip it together, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if this sounds confusing, but just try to refer to the video. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm making sure when I do clip the edges around, you don't want any raw seams to be shown. So you want to make sure you fold it as you roll it around the edge and then clip it around. And then I'm going to be doing this to both sides. And again, I am making 3 snuggle tunnels, so I'm going to repeat the same process 2 more times. And then for this snuggle tunnel, I did make the outside piece. I made it too long, so it's going to be really hard for me to roll the inside piece around it. So I did trim it down, so that way I was able to fold the inside piece around the tunnel. I also do the same thing to the third tunnel I'm making. I do trim it off to make it a little shorter, so it's easier. So if you guys are having that issue, you guys can shorten the tunnels just by cutting off the edge. So for the hay bags, this is the thread I'm using. It is a colored thread. It changes colors as you sew. Now this is a thicker thread. It won't work in your bobbin, so when you do this, if you do use this thread, you do want to make sure that you only use it as a top stitch thread. Don't use it in your bobbin. Use a regular thread in your bobbin, but that's how I use this thread. I'll have it linked down below. But anyways, what I'm doing here is I am going to start sewing the top hem part of the hay bags. And for this part, I do like to use a decorative stitch. I'm using a floral stitch, and I'm basically lining up the edge of my foot to the edge of the hem that I'm trying to sew down. And I'm going to sew all the way down the edge. And I'm making 2 hay bags, and each hay bag has 2 sides. So I'm going to be doing this 4 times.
items. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Alright, so here I have all the cuddle cups. Down there I have the hooded houses, cube. And then in this corner I have the guinea pig home, the hay bags, the foam tunnels, the piggy lounge. And then in my next video, I'm probably gonna go back through this pile. I'm gonna start drawing on the holes for the hay bags, sew some more of everything else basically. So that will be in my next episode. And also you guys, everything I used in this video is gonna be linked down below in the description. Alright, so for update, the reason why I'm not uploading as much anymore is because we are going to be moving soon. Or I'll show you my sewing room here in a minute. I have it resituated around. It's a lot cleaner in here because we're trying to sell our house. But anyways, we're gonna be moving to North Carolina in probably January or sooner. We'll see, depends on like when our house sells and all that. So basically I've been busy like going back and forth to North Carolina, and also you guys, I am still doing school full time, so that has been taking up a lot of my time. And before I move, of course, I do want to use up all the fleece I have, and that way I don't have to take it with me when I move. I could just start fresh, if that makes sense. I'm hoping to finish this series and finish all of these cozies before I move, so I'm trying really hard to get these things done. And also you guys, at the end of my videos, I promised one of my followers and also a really good customer who buys stuff from my store all the time, I promised them I would show them what I'm working on at the end of each episode. And what I'm working on, what I mean is like stuff that I'm working on for my Etsy shop. So if anybody is interested in what I'm making right now, which I'm making a whole bunch of stuff, so I'll try to go through it really quick. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you that. Alright, I guess we'll start off here. So down below, those are the stuff I'm making for my series. You guys already seen that. Over here, I got a whole bunch of clearance potty pads that I'm working on. I got more in the closet over there. And then I'm working on this like woodland animal owl, a few hay bags and a hooded house for that. Working on some stuff here. Thanksgiving, I know that's coming up soon. I got this cute turkey print I'm working on. Making cuddle cup and a snuggle tunnel, a hay bag. Over here I got some Pokemon stuff, so I got a cuddle cup, cube, hooded house, cage liner, things like that. Over here, well, this is a cage liner, a 2x3. I'm making a tie-dye cage liner. And then I got some lamb stuff over here, cuddle cup, cage liners. I'm still working on Halloween stuff. This is a hay bag, and I got other stuff over here of that print. Down below is, you guys have already seen, it's just stuff for my series, which is that sloth and rainbow. All right, and then over here is stuff that it's almost finished. So here I'm working on some hay bags. I thought this would be a pretty fall print here. And then a 1x1 cage liner. It's a 2x1 cage liner. And these are like the lamb fleece and the owl fleece I have that I'm working on. Sorry you can't see the prints, but those are all the cage liners I'm working on right now. Here I got a cube going out of a Halloween print, a Pokemon cuddle sack, cuddle cup. I'm almost done with this cuddle cup here. Just need to add the seam around it. This is a couch right here. A cube, it's inside out. It's the llama fleece on the inside. Here is a cuddle cup that's made out of this fleece here, this fishy fleece. I got a foam tunnel here that I'm almost finished with. Got a cuddle sack right here. Here is a couch I'm working on. A cube, that's a Halloween print. Some cuddle cups here. This is gonna be a Halloween cuddle cup. This is another couch. Some more cuddle cups right here. These are clearance cuddle cups that I'm working on. I'm also working on clearance cuddle sacks, which are in a different room. But here is another hooded house I'm working on. Alright, yeah. And that's all the stuff I'm mainly working on right now. But here is how my sewing room looks right now. I kind of like pushed everything in the middle because they were painting the walls. I no longer have a green room anymore. So those of you who've been following me, we had our house painted just because, you know, we're selling it. So we wanted it to be neutral. I know it's kind of boring in here, but this is how my sewing room looks right now. This is not an official tour or anything. It's pretty empty because, again, we're trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. So when we move, we don't have to take a lot of stuff with us. But I kind of like how having this in the center, because then I can just walk around and it's easier to get to things, if that makes sense. And then it makes this table a little bit bigger, which is nice. So that's how my sewing room is looking right now until I move, of course. But anyways, that was Donna's request. Thank you, Donna, for requesting that I show you guys what I'm working on. If any of you guys are interested in any of the cozies that I'm making, they will be posted to my shop soon once I finish them. I will have my Etsy link linked down below. If you guys want to see when I do post my items, make sure you follow me on Instagram, because once I post my items to my Etsy shop, I post the photos to Instagram, letting you guys know they're available. And I do appreciate if you guys do purchase anything from me and support me. It means the world to me. And I want to thank those who have purchased from my shop so much, and I want to thank you guys for watching this video. But anyways, also you guys, the guinea pigs and the rats are doing well. For those of you who do not know, I do own 5 rats now, which I adopted right after I got my first 2, and they're all doing really well. But anyways, if you guys are still liking this series, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you guys do want to see more videos from me, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right.